Chris Matthews of MSNBC's Hardball was caught on a hot mic appreciating Donald Trump's wife, Melania. Let's watch.
Only the candidate can make that decision.
And the party will trust Trump to be able to make that decision.
Well, I think the party won't have a role in it.
Do you see her walk? Runway walk.
We just heard from the likely nominee of the Republican Party. We will go to a break here.
I can watch that.
The discussion continues right after this.
Sounds like Brian Williams.
They're trying to cut.
Sounds like Brian Williams. He was like, "Oh, I can hear that. That's a problem." Yeah.
You got to stop, man.
Yeah.
You got to stop.
He's got to turn Chris's mic off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look, it doesn't reflect the new age of sexism awareness that we've entered, and I don't think that's a bad age. I think it's a pretty good age. It's an age that has helped me. But that said, she was a model.
Mm-hmm.
Commenting on a former model's runway walk doesn't
directly applicable to her former trade.
Just don't think it's that big a deal.
Yeah, look, it's obviously awkward. One, because it's TV and they are supposed to be held to a higher standard than the internet. It's
and the notion that we hold people on cable television to a higher standard than anything is a recipe for continued daily disappointment.
Disappointment, yeah. And here's the thing, like I'm thinking to all the times we cut to a video, and sometimes they cut her mic, sometimes they don't. I honestly don't know when. We make comments like that constantly. I'm not going to speak for you, but I'm sure that I made comments. Like, it can simply be someone giving a speech and there's a very attractive person behind them. And yeah, you notice, and you say something. So, look, Chris Matthews comes across as a person there. And it's a little bit different when it's the wife of the presumptive nominee, perhaps.
No, but he's a character.
Hillary was that at one point.
I got you,
so,
but Donald,
no, I'm not getting down on him. I think give him a total pass. I think this is totally fine. It's more embarrassing than anything else. He wasn't saying it about Carly Fiorina or Hillary Clinton. Look, Melania's people are very frustrated about this, and they say that it's misrepresenting her as anything other than an independently successful woman. I don't see how it does that. And she was a model. He's not saying, yeah, look at her. Look at her. She's worthless and hot. No, he was saying she has a good runway walk. And I feel a little bit bad for Chris Matthews, which I don't like to do. The reason that I do think it's funny, though, is the particular thing that he said. Did you see her walk? Runway walk. My God, is that good? I could watch that runway show. That's a little bit uncomfortable.
Yes.
Don't do that, man.
Yeah, it's not smooth, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but,
I would have said something worse, though.
Now, that said, I mean, look, the discrimination faced in this country by a number of people is far more serious than the challenges faced by incredibly attractive women.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But there is a presumption in everything they do that they got there because they're attractive and that there is no mind or substance behind that attractiveness, and I have no doubt that it is consistently frustrating for the millions of attractive women who are also incredibly smart. So.
Or incredibly hardworking, or all that.
Those things,
yeah, so look, I think if you want to criticize Melania Trump, you just got to find the right things to do it on. I personally am of the opinion that if you willingly associate for an extended period of time with a person who is not just a bombastic asshole, but also a massive racist, and who wants to do terrible things in this country, and you like spending time with that person, I think fundamentally at some point that reflects very poorly on your character. So that's not about a runway walk. That's about the people she chooses to associate with, who are about as low quality, low class people as you could possibly spend time with. So Chris Matthews, attack her in that way, perhaps. I'm sure I'll get attacked for what I just said. But no, she associates with scum. That rubs off on you at some point.
You love who you love, John.
Do you? I don't know. I know who Trump is, and he was an asshole long before she married him. When she was born, he was an asshole for multiple decades. Anyway, we told you in advance of this, though, that we're going to compare it to some past awkward instances of anchors saying things that they perhaps regretted saying. So first of all, it's actually Chris Matthews. So here he is with Erin Burnett.
You get a little closer to the camera.
What is it? Is it
coming in closer? No, coming further. Coming closer. Really close.
What do you?
Just kidding. You look great. Anyway, thanks, Erin. It's great to look at that look. You're great.
I don't even know. I'm going to have to go look at the tape here.
No, you're beautiful. Thank you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You're a knockout. Anyway, thank you, Erin Burnett.
All right.
It's all right getting bad news from you, even. Okay. Thanks for coming on Hardball. Up next.
So we're going to give him shit, but I think he was just doing a really good Steve Carell from The Office impression there. Weird. It's so awkward. What What was the joke there?
I don't know what the joke was there.
I can make you get close to that camera.
Erin Burnett so bothered she left the network.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and she obviously was uncomfortable there, which you should be. That was a very uncomfortable situation. But it's not just Chris Matthews. JR was also able to track down this video of Glenn Beck from not too many years ago.
Somebody would get a picture of you, and then it would be posted all around, and it'll happen in your office.
Yeah, possibly.
You don't think so?
Well, it depends. You know,
Dina, I've got some time and a camera. Why don't you stop by? No. Okay. Do you think that with American Idol, this is really pretty much a win-win for them?
Not a win-win for you, though. No. Look, I make a lot of awkward comments on this show, on all the shows that I host, so I understand it. It is awkward when you see it on TV, though, and especially, she's not there for that, man. She doesn't want to have to put up with that shit. Her and Erin Burnett, they were very professional.
When you're live, you are obviously much more likely, because everything you say gets magnified. You're live. Much of what you say is unscripted. There is a inherent risk that goes with that,
yes,
which all of us who have done this are aware of. That said, in general, we have entered into an era when, especially men on the air, like I said, we're in an era of, no matter what phrase you use, where we have all become much more aware of sexism than we were before, and how the little things we say, you know, like I just said, I mean, it's not, again, people don't go around this country worrying about the rights of the gorgeous, right? Mm-hmm. But, you know.
Which pains me every day because I think I count too.
It's got to be incredibly difficult. And, you know, look, I talk about this with a lot of actresses who are like, yeah, it's tough. Everybody just thinks you're an idiot. And, and you know, and obviously there's some women who think that about other women too. Let's not kid ourselves. But, you know, in general, we just have to make sure that, you know, there's a couple instances at various work functions of people trying so hard not to be sexist that you end up being sexist. Look, there's women who, if you come on Glenn Beck's show, you come on Chris Matthews' show, you're a professional. Just treat them as you would a professional. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We have not entered into a world where a man cannot say to a woman at work, you look nice today. That's fine.
Yes.
I think, and most women would probably agree with that. Problem is some men don't know where that line stops. We still haven't figured it out. And the older generation is more likely to struggle with it and bristle with it. But just treat people with respect, you know, and no matter their sex or their age or how they look, in a professional setting. I mean, always treat people with respect, but particularly in a professional setting, and that includes when you're on the air live, where you could say something incredibly dumb, which Lord knows has happened to many of us, myself included.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's a natural consequence of, as you said, both it being unscripted and you wanting it to be fun and light. And we get into situations like this. We're not pointing these out because they're terrible guys. Well, Glenn Beck is a terrible guy for other reasons. And you could put together a highlight reel of me saying as awkward stuff, if not more awkward. It's just funny.
You could put it together from today, my friend.
Perhaps. Hold on, lean in a little bit. I'm kidding. You're a knockout, Ben. You look great.